Hey guys, John here, and I want to talk a little bit about 3 reasons why I believe San Diego Comic-Con should move to Las Vegas. Now, before I go any further, I should point out that yes, while I do kind of work with Comic-Con through Comic-Con HQ, the opinions expressed in this video are entirely my own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of anybody else in the world. Now, I also should say this. I love San Diego. I've been saying to my friends for a long time, if San Diego were like 45 minutes closer to LA, I would seriously move to San Diego and make the hour-and-a-half commute to LA and back every day. I love the city that much. But everything in life has problems. Professional sports teams have problems, bakeries have problems, websites have problems, and conventions have problems. Everything has problems. The only question is, what kind of problems do you have? Do you either have the types of problems that come about because you don't do your job well, or do you have the types of problems you get because you do your job really damn well? Let's look at a bakery for a second. If a bakery doesn't do its job very well, maybe they don't make very good muffins, or maybe they don't, staff enough, whatever. Then maybe they start to lose business because people don't want to buy their muffins and, they don't like the customer service they get. So there are other types of problems you get when you don't do your job well. However, there are those types of problems that you get because you do your job well. Let's say you're that same bakery and you just make amazing muffins, like the best muffins in the world. The problem is that now you're out of muffins by 11 a.m. because at 9 a.m., everybody's lined up around the corner because they want your muffins. They're both problems, but you'd rather have the types of problems that come about as doing your job really well. And I want to suggest that's what's going on with San Diego Comic-Con. Because Comic-Con and San Diego Comic-Con and the organization that runs it has done such an amazing job with this convention over the decades that it brings up certain problems. There are definitely problems that exist because they do their job so damn well, but there are still challenges that need to be issued. And because of these challenges, I believe that moving this convention to Las Vegas can correct these problems. Here are the 3 reasons why I believe Comic-Con should move to Las Vegas. Reason number 1. Convention capacity. Look, what Comic-Con is right now a little bit famous for is the big long lines, the shoulder to shoulder walking around the convention floor with other people because everybody wants to be there. It's so awesome. Unfortunately, it also means that some people are having to stand in line for Hall H for 7, 8, 9, 12, 15 hours. And sometimes people who stand in line for 7, 8, 9 hours, they stand in line that long and still don't get in to see the panel they want to see. Think about it this way. Hall H has a seating capacity of around 6,500 people, but 135,000 people go to Comic-Con. That means only 6.5 out of every 135 people that go to Comic-Con can actually get in to see any particular panel. That's not a good ratio. That's a problem that needs to be addressed. Some people just don't like walking the exhibit floor anymore because you're walking like this. Even though there's like 800,000 square feet of floor space in the San Diego Convention Center, it's still an ordeal to try to get from one end of the exhibit floor to the other end of the exhibit floor because of the massive, massive humanity that's in there. And let's not forget this too. Because it's so crowded and so packed, Comic-Con has to really limit the amount of passes they give. So a lot of times there are people out there who desperately want to go to Comic-Con, but unless they're ready to buy their tickets on the exact day that the passes come out, they run out of passes and they're not able to go. Las Vegas solves that problem on a couple of fronts. Number 1, the San Diego Convention Center has around, like I said, a mammoth 800,000+ square feet of floor space. It is a huge convention center. When you're there in San Diego and you see the San Diego Convention Center, you're a little bit in awe of just how massive it is. You feel like you're standing in front of the Death Star. However, that massive thing tends to shrink a bit when you go inside and you realize there are so many people there. The Las Vegas Convention Center, on the other hand, is much bigger. Whereas the San Diego Convention Center has about 800,000 square feet of space, give or take a little bit. The Las Vegas Convention Center has over 2.2 million square feet of floor space in their convention center. It is mammoth. It is almost triple the size of the San Diego Convention Center. Look, I go almost every year to the National Association of Broadcasters, NAB, in Las Vegas every year, and they hold it in the Las Vegas Convention Center. And I got to tell you, that thing gets over 100,000 people, and it is a breeze to walk through. You can visit every exhibit in the place and never bump into another human being. It's massive. There's so much space in there. It means you can sell more Comic-Con passes so more people who want to experience Comic-Con can go. But here's another thing. Hall H will no longer be limited to that 6,500 thing. As a matter of fact, Las Vegas just opened the new T-Mobile Hockey Arena. I've been saying for years that Comic-Con should probably move Hall H out of Hall H and put it in Petco Park, the baseball stadium right across the street. That way, everybody who wants to see a panel can see a panel. Now, there are legitimate concerns about that type of an option because it's outside. What happens if it's too hot? What happens if it's too bright? What happens if it's raining? There's a lot of problems with moving to Petco simply because it's an outdoor field, and I understand those problems. But now Las Vegas, you have this new indoor, like around 20,000 seat arena with the T-Mobile Arena there. That way, instead of only 6.5 out of every 135,000 people that go getting into Hall H, you can have like 20 out of the 135,000. It's still not perfect, but it's a huge improvement. No longer will people stand in line for 5-6 hours and not get into the panel they want to see. Almost everybody who wants to see a panel would be able to see a panel. Look, because of all those things and more, the sheer capacity of Las Vegas, as far as their convention space, their Hall H space, all that kind of stuff is addressed by moving Comic-Con to Las Vegas. Reason number 2, Comic-Con should move to Las Vegas: hotels. Look, what's become an annual drama every single year is that if you want a hotel in San Diego for Comic-Con, you can't just call up and book a hotel. You actually got to go into a lottery. You got to register yourself into a lottery to hopefully get a hotel room and hopefully get the hotel room that you want. Now, that's understandable because San Diego is not built for a convention of 150,000 people. So they don't have hotels for 150,000 people. So they do the absolute best they can. And considering the limitations they have, they do a pretty good job of keeping it organized and trying to get as many people, properly situated in a hotel as possible. They do a very good job, but they do have limitations. Whereas in Las Vegas, forget about it. Las Vegas is nothing but hotel rooms. It's nothing but capacity. Every year, the annual convention, CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, which is by far bigger than Comic-Con. I believe last year they had like 170,000 people go to it, much bigger than Comic-Con. And guess what? No problem getting hotels. As a matter of fact, me and a buddy of mine decided to take a last-minute weekend trip to Vegas on the same weekend that CES was happening, and we got a room right on the strip, no problem, and it wasn't super expensive. Whereas in San Diego, not only are you challenged to find a room, but the law of supply and demand comes into place. When the demand far reaches the supply, then the prices have to go up. And so you're paying a ridiculous amount of money for a moderate hotel room, maybe not even that close to the convention center, because that's just the reality of the situation. Have Comic-Con in Las Vegas, and that is not an issue anymore. They have more hotel rooms than they know what to do with. You have CES, a much bigger convention in Las Vegas, and that city doesn't even blink. Doesn't even blink. It can handle it no problem. Whereas in San Diego, you do have some real hotel logistical problems. Reason number 3, I think they should move Comic-Con to Las Vegas, is logistics. Getting people from point A to point B is an important consideration. And even though I found many times I've gotten a place in San Diego that's only like 2 miles from the convention center, getting public transportation down there can be really challenging. Like you hop in a cab or an Uber or a Lyft and you fly downtown, but once you get within a mile of the convention center, traffic grinds to a standstill. It can be very challenging getting in and out and getting around town or even getting a cab depending on where you are because the infrastructure of San Diego is not built for a sudden 150,000 person influx into the city. Las Vegas, though, they've got this down pat. They know their traffic routes. They know how to divert traffic. They know how to use their shuttle system. On the busiest night in Vegas, you can hop in a cab anywhere on a moment's notice and get anywhere in just a few minutes because they're so used to this. They handle these size of conventions almost weekly. It's not a big deal. So, for me personally, the 3 main reasons why I believe Comic-Con should consider moving to Las Vegas, besides the fact that it's Las Vegas, is number 1, capacity for the convention. Number 2, hotel capacity. And number 3, logistics of moving people around. Now look, I do believe they should move Comic-Con to Las Vegas, but there are also some very good arguments for considering keeping it in San Diego, and I'll talk about those reasons in another video. So what do you think about my 3 reasons for moving Comic-Con? Jump into the comments section below and leave me your thoughts. That'll do it for me right now. My name's John Campea. Until next time, bye-bye.